Did you make $300,000 last month in your wholesale business? Probably not. Hey, I didn't either. I wholesale some properties here and there, and it's a nice, fun way to make a little bit of money. But we make $300,000 a month recurring every month in our real estate portfolio. And here's how you can do it as well. Listen, I'm not here to bash wholesalers or wholesaling. I believe that it's a strategy that every good real estate investor is going to employ at some point. In fact, I wholesaled a property last month with my son in Orlando, Florida, and we made a quick $15,000. But here's the thing. If you really want to be a real estate investor, you want to build wealth, and if you want financial freedom and not just have a job, and guys, I tell you this from experience, I've done over 3,000 deals. I've bought and sold over 3,000 houses, and hundreds of them, maybe even 1,000 of them, when I first started out, were wholesale deals. What I learned doing that for years and years on end, what I had done is I had created myself a job, and it was a really good paying job. I had a really good lifestyle, front row seats at the Magic games, and we drove expensive cars and lived in nice big houses. But still, at the end of the day, we weren't building anything. We weren't creating anything that was going to give us recurring revenue month in and month out. Our net worth didn't really go up and down. It just kind of stayed the same because we didn't really own anything. All we did was trade paper. If that's you and you want to become a real estate investor, you're going to watch this video to the end. So if you're like me and you've wholesaled a whole bunch of deals and you look back and you realize if you had kept a couple, life would be a whole lot better. What if I could show you a way that you could still do your wholesale business, buy a few properties to keep as rental properties, maybe even do some flips and get chunks of money and create recurring revenue? I hesitate to say passive income, although I do believe that long-term rental does get close to passive income. Truly, passive income is something that comes after a whole lot of hard work, but you can get monthly recurring revenue through rental properties, and eventually you'll get to a point where you're building generational wealth. So what is value-add real estate investing? It's really my favorite subject. It's what I like to do. We like to take a property that we can buy down at the bottom of the market. Let's say that it's a vacant, distressed office building, and no one's using office space anymore, and so it needs to be reimagined and value add. Value add means that you're going to go in and do a big renovation. First, you want to think about what is the highest and best use for your property, and then you want to renovate that property into its highest and best use. That's value add, or at least that's one form of value add. That's my favorite form of value add, actually. There are other forms of value add. You can take a house that's become distressed over time or needs updating even and buy it and then fix it up, doing a renovation. That's also value add. You can do that on rental properties as well. But for us, we like to find things where we determine that the next use is the better use, and we call it the highest and best use because that's the one that you're going to get the most rents, that's the one that you're going to get the most appreciation, and that's the one that you're going to be able to make the most money and build the most wealth over time with. We bought this property. It was a 4-family house. It was a long-term rental play. The guy who owned it before us, he was renting it out to families and he was getting some income from it. Not very much at all. When we bought it, there was actually nobody living in it. It was highly distressed, dated. It was sort of a slumlord property, if you will. But the beautiful thing was, it sat 2 blocks away from a beautiful beach where you could learn to surf while your wife or your girlfriend laid on the beach, sun tanning and cheering you on. And it was just a great place, but it was very clear that its highest and best use was not as a 4-family kind of slumlord type housing. So we renovated it into a guest house using Act 74 at the time, which was the Tourism Act. And when we did that, the island of Puerto Rico rewarded us because we were investing in a way that they wanted us to invest in. So they let us know, hey, if you'll go out and find these kinds of properties that have this bad use that we don't want anymore, slumlords, turn it into this good use. They call it a guest house, which is 7 units to 25 units. That's a guest house hotel. We'll give you 40% tax credits, and we'll let you earn that money at a 25 cents on the dollar or at a 4% corporate tax. They would also let us pay property taxes at 25 cents on the dollar. It was an amazing thing. We get these massive rewards for investing the way that the government wanted us to invest, and it fits the model of figuring out what was the highest and best use for this property. So we took a 4-family distressed property, renovated it into a 7-unit guest house. We got all of the benefits of the close to passive income. It's at least monthly recurring revenue, that's for damn sure. It did require a lot of work, and usually passive income does. We also got the tax benefits from the government, and then we sold the property at a double. 100% more than what we had in it. So with this investment that I just showed you, the former owner was probably bringing in, when he had all 4 units rented, maybe $1,500 a month. He wasn't getting much in the way of rents. He wasn't doing much in the way of work either. He wasn't renovating stuff or keeping things nice. He was just letting it fall down around the poor tenants, whoever they were. When we came along and renovated it into the guest house, we managed to bring the property up to about $30,000 to $35,000 of monthly revenue. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about highest and best use. If before it had a use of slumlord property that would bring in $1,500 a month, and you could renovate it into guest house hotel and bring in $35,000 a month, can you see what I'm talking about? That's value add, that's forcing equity, that's highest and best use. These are things that we like as real estate investors. I want to encourage you to dream bigger. So you started out with this dream of you want to be a real estate investor. You've wholesaled a couple of houses. Now you're looking into value add real estate investing. And I'm telling you, as you're watching this video, whatever you're thinking about as the next level, dream bigger, go bigger. This is something that if I could go back in time and tell myself, I would encourage myself to think bigger. At the time, when I was first starting out, I wanted to make $250,000 a year. It seemed like all of the money in the world. And we very quickly got to that level, and then we leveled out at that level for quite some time. Don't let that be your story. Learn from my mistakes. You're doing the research. You're doing the work. You're setting yourself up for a great future. And I'm telling you and encouraging you, dream bigger, think bigger. Let's do more. So what does that mean to dream bigger? So if you're thinking that you wanted to have a rental portfolio where you were going to bring in $30,000 a month, I'm saying, hey, why not think about having a rental portfolio where you bring in $300,000 a month? If you were already thinking you wanted to have a portfolio bringing in $300,000 a month, let's dream for $3 million a month. 10x it. If you've already done a wholesale deal or two and you want to go to the next level, you've already got the skill set. You already know how to find the great deals, and you've just been passing them on to other real estate investors. Why not consider passing them on to yourself as the real estate investors and learn that new set of skills that's going to allow you to be able to close on these properties and own them and actually build wealth. I will tell you this, I can't remember doing a deal where I owned it, had it cash flow for myself for at least 5 years or more. When I finally did sell it, don't look back at it and see it as a grand slam home run. I think that's true across 3,000 deals. The times that we've owned them, the longer that we've owned them, the better that we've done. It's just the truth. Real estate goes up and to the right. If you hold it long enough, you're going to hit a grand slam home run. So that's where you want to be. You want to be a owner of real estate. I know you've got the skills for this. I know you can do it. You've already done a few things. You're ready. You're watching this video. You want to become a value add real estate investor. What's next? Well, obviously first you should subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hopefully you've already done that a long time ago. Watch some more of our great content, but also we've created a community over on School, and you can come and join us for free. It's called the Flip Flop Flipper Real Estate Community. The link is in the description of this video. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you on the next one, and God bless.